She smells it in 3 seconds. Not with her nose, but with the oldest part of her mind, the part that once decided which hunter lived and which one became prey. 3 heartbeats. The moment your eyes meet hers, an invisible current runs from your chest to hers, scanning for the faintest tremor of need, the smallest flicker of fear, the quiet plea hidden behind your smile. If it finds it, desire dies before the first word leaves your mouth. Because women do not choose men who are safe. They choose men who feel dangerous, men who radiate a calm so complete it feels like the silence before an execution. Machiavelli knew this 500 years before any of us felt that sting. He watched the courts of princes and saw the same law written in blood and velvet. The one who betrays weakness first is already kneeling, even when he believes he is standing tall. And in the war of desire, the quietest war of all, weakness is not forgiven. It is smelled, catalogued, and discarded in the space between one breath and the next. But when a man learns to seal the fire beneath stone, when he learns to move like a man who has nothing to prove and everything to lose without breaking, something ancient awakens in her. She leans forward. Her pupils widen. Her body answers a question her mind has not yet formed. This is the knowledge that separates the forgotten from the feared. The knowledge that turns hunted into hunter without raising a hand. If you feel that cold weight settling in your chest right now, that silent recognition that something inside you just shifted, tell me the city you're watching from. Because what you are about to learn will change the way every woman looks at you, forever. Machiavelli saw it long before the first text message was ever sent. He stood in the shadowed halls of Florence and watched the same ritual repeat. A prince enters, chest open, voice eager, eyes begging for alliance, and in 3 silent seconds the room already knows he will be devoured. The courtiers did not need speeches. They smelled the tremor. 5 centuries later, nothing has changed. Only the battlefield moved from marble corridors to candlelit bars, from thrones to phone screens. Yet the law remains carved in the oldest part of her brain. Hierarchy is decided before logic ever wakes up. She does not hear your words first. She feels your energy first. The way your shoulders rise a fraction too quickly when she looks at you. The way your voice lifts at the end of a sentence, turning every statement into a question, into a plea. Do you approve of me? The way you hold her gaze 1 heartbeat too long, searching for the reflection of your worth in her pupils. 3 seconds. That is all the time her instinct needs to place you on the invisible ladder. Above her, equal to her, or beneath her. And once the verdict is rendered, no amount of flowers, no perfect date, no poetic paragraph at 2 a.m. can overturn it. Because desire is not democratic. Desire is primal. It bows only to the man who radiates the quiet certainty that he could walk away, and the world would still turn. Most men never notice the moment they lose. They are too busy performing kindness, performing interest, performing availability. They lean in when she speaks. They laugh a fraction too loud at her jokes. They offer their jacket before she even shivers. Every gesture is a confession. I need you to choose me. And in that confession, the balance collapses. She feels it like a predator feels the limp in wounded prey. Not cruelty. Instinct. The same instinct that once kept her ancestors alive now keeps her desire alive, and it only ignites for the man whose energy says, I am the mountain, not the climber. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must appear merciless, faithful, humane, religious, upright, but must be ready to abandon all these qualities the moment they threaten his power. In love, the same law applies. The man who appears merciful first, humane first, upright first, is already kneeling. She does not want the man who is good to her. She wants the man who could destroy her world and chooses not to, not because he is weak, but because he is in complete control of the blade. That is the danger she smells. That is the scent that makes her body answer before her mind can object. You have felt it yourself. The moment you walked into a room and a woman's eyes locked onto you, not because you spoke, not because you smiled, but because something in your walk, in the way you claimed space without apology, told her ancient brain, this one is different. This one does not beg. This one does not need. This one could lose everything and remain standing. 3 seconds. That is the entire war. Win it, and she will chase you for years. Lose it, and no second chance will ever feel the same. If that truth just cut deeper than you expected, if you feel the old version of you beginning to burn away right now, stay exactly where you are. Because what comes next is the secret Machiavelli kept for the few who are ready to carry the weight of real power. The mechanism is merciless because it is silent. Weakness does not announce itself with trumpets. It leaks. It leaks in the way you check your phone 2 seconds after sending her a message. It leaks in the way you ask, "What are you thinking?" when silence stretches for more than 5 breaths. It leaks in the way you justify your absence, explain your silence, soften your boundaries the moment her tone changes. Every leak is a drop of blood in the water, and her instinct is the shark that never sleeps. Most men believe they hide it well. They believe that if they are kind enough, funny enough, successful enough, the tremor will go unnoticed. They are wrong. She does not need to see your bank account or your gym routine. She needs 3 seconds of raw presence. And in those 3 seconds, the body speaks louder than any resume. The slight forward lean when she speaks, "I need your approval." The quick smile that arrives before hers, "I am afraid to displease you." The extra word you add when silence would have been stronger, "I am terrified of emptiness." Each one is a surrender. Each one is a confession that you are still governed by the fear of losing her. Machiavelli observed the same betrayal in princes who wrote long letters justifying their actions to allies who had already decided to betray them. The moment you explain, you are already beneath. The moment you justify, you're already begging. And begging has never awakened desire. It awakens pity. And pity is the quietest graveyard attraction has ever been buried in. She feels the shift instantly. Her shoulders relax, her eyes soften, her voice takes on the tone mothers use with children who have scraped their knees. Not because she is cruel, because biology is cruel. The same biology that once chose the warrior who could stare death in the face now chooses the man who can stare rejection in the face and remain unmoved. Need is the opposite of danger, and danger is the only perfume her ancient brain has ever craved. You have seen it happen to other men. You have watched the confident mask slip the moment she pulls away, watched grown men turn into boys who double text, who offer solutions, who promise change. You have watched desire die in real time, watched her answers grow shorter, colder, kinder, always kinder when it is over. Kindness is the last rite performed over the corpse of attraction. But the man who understands the mechanism does something different. He feels the urge to reach, to fix, to explain, and he lets it burn inside the temple of stone. He watches the impulse rise like smoke and refuses to let it leave his lips. He answers once, slowly, deliberately, or he answers not at all. And in that refusal, something terrifying is born. Space, distance, the vacuum that nature rushes to fill. Suddenly her phone is in her hand more often. Suddenly her stories are watched within minutes. Suddenly she is the one asking questions, filling silence, leaning forward. Not because he played a trick, because he stopped leaking, because he sealed the wound of need and let the scar tissue become armor.
That is the moment the predator becomes prey without a single threat being spoken. That is the moment the balance inverts, and she begins to chase the very danger she once dismissed. All because one man learned to govern the tremor before it ever reached the air between them. If you feel that tremor inside you right now, trying to speak, trying to reach, trying to fix, watch it. Do not feed it. Because what comes next is the birth of the calm that makes women nervous in the most delicious way. This is the moment the dangerous calm is born. Not the absence of fire, but its perfect containment. The day a man decides that no woman will ever again hear the tremor in his chest. He begins to move differently. He speaks slower, as if every word costs him something precious, and he refuses to spend carelessly. He lets silence stretch until it becomes territory he already owns. He looks at her the way a king looks at a horizon he does not need to conquer, because it already belongs to him. The change is subtle, almost invisible to the untrained eye. But she feels it like a shift in gravity. Where once there was a man leaning toward her light, now there is a man who carries his own son. Where once there was a voice asking for entry, now there is a voice that decides who enters. And in that decision, something ancient awakens in her blood. She tests it at first. She withholds replies. She cancels plans. She throws small barbs disguised as jokes. Every test is the same prayer in disguise. Prove you are still the mountain I cannot move. Most men fail here. They match her energy. They withdraw in hurt. They punish with silence that reeks of resentment. But the man who radiates pure danger does none of these things. He simply observes. He smiles the slow smile of someone watching a storm from the top of a fortress he built long ago. And in that smile she feels the ground shift beneath her feet. Her texts change tone. The playful teasing becomes softer, almost careful. The questions become longer. The silences between her messages shorten. She begins to orbit a center that no longer orbits her. Not because he is cruel, because he has become gravity itself. Machiavelli would have recognized the mechanism instantly. He wrote that the prince must make himself feared in such a way that, if he is not loved, he at least avoids being hated. In desire, the same law applies. She must sense that you could destroy her world with a single step backward, yet you choose to remain. Not out of attachment, but out of sovereign decision. That choice is the purest form of danger she has ever tasted. You have seen it happen. The woman who once answered in hours now answers in minutes. The woman who once made you wait now apologizes for delays. The woman who once spoke to you with the casual authority of someone who owned your attention now speaks with the careful respect of someone who senses she might lose it forever. All because one man learned to seal the fire beneath stone and let the heat radiate without burning the room. He no longer fills silence. He inhabits it. He no longer. Anger chases validation. He radiates certainty. Every glance is measured. Every word is deliberate. Every absence is a signature. And in that signature she reads the quiet truth. This one does not need me to remain whole. That is the moment she begins to fall. Not into love. Love is too small a word. She falls into the pull of a man who has made himself the center of his own universe. And suddenly, her own orbit feels unstable without him in it. If you feel that calm beginning to settle in your bones right now, that stillness that feels almost lethal, stay exactly where you are. Because what comes next is the price every man must pay to wear the crown of pure danger. Pure danger has a price, and the world will make you pay it in full. The moment you seal the fire beneath stone, something inside the room changes forever, and not everyone will like what you have become. Old friends notice first. They call you cold. They say you have changed. They miss the version of you who laughed too loud, who answered instantly, who wore his heart like an open wound for the world to prod. That version is dead. You buried him the day you decided no woman would ever again hear your need before she earned your presence. Women who once basked in your warmth now feel the chill. The ones who loved your availability now speak of you with careful distance, as if you have become a blade they are afraid to touch. Some will accuse you of arrogance. Some will say you play games. Some will simply disappear, unable to bear the weight of a man who no longer reflects their power back to them. Let them go. A king does not negotiate with shadows. Solitude sharpens. Nights grow quieter. The phone stops lighting up with easy validation. There is space now, vast and echoing, where once there was noise. Many men panic here. They mistake the silence for emptiness and rush back to the old habits, texting first, explaining, softening, begging to be let back into the warmth of being needed. But the man who pays the price in full does not run from the silence. He moves into it like a fortress he always meant to claim. The fire still burns. Never believe it has gone out. It simply lives deeper now, sealed beneath stone so thick that only the worthy will ever feel its heat. You still desire. You still feel the pull when her scent crosses the room. But desire no longer governs you. You govern it. And that governance feels like standing on the edge of a cliff while the wind screams and choosing not to jump. Machiavelli knew this solitude. He walked the same corridors after writing words that made powerful men fear him and weak men hate him. He understood that real power always walks alone for a season. The prince who is loved by all is usually the prince who will soon be forgotten. The prince who is feared, respected, and slightly misunderstood is the one whose name echoes long after the marble cracks. You will be misunderstood. You will be called toxic by those who once fed on your openness. You will be called a player by those who cannot comprehend a man who loves without surrendering his throne. Let the lab else come. Labels are the tax the weak pay to feel safe around the strong. And yet in the deepest nights, when the silence is absolute, you will feel the weight of what you have sacrificed. The easy laughter. The innocent belief that being good would be enough. The soft illusion that someone else could complete you. Those things are gone. They had to die so that something unbreakable could be born. But then she appears again, different this time. Not the ones who fled. A new one, or perhaps an old one transformed, drawn by the invisible gravity you now radiate. She does not ask for your warmth. She stands in your chill and feels alive. She does not ask for your explanations. She reads your silence and feels understood. She does not ask you to prove your love. She already feels the danger of a man who could walk away and never look back, yet chooses, for reasons she will never fully grasp, to remain. That is the reward hidden inside the price. Not every woman. Only the ones whose instincts recognize the real thing when it finally stands before them. If the solitude feels heavier than ever right now, if part of you wants to run back to the noise, stay exactly where you are, because what comes next is the moment pure danger becomes something the world has almost forgotten how to name. Section 5. 800 words. This is the final transmutation. When pure danger no longer needs to announce itself. When the fire beneath stone has burned so long that even the stone begins to glow.
The man who once learned to seal his need now walks through the world as if the air itself rearranges around his stillness. He no longer plays the game plays around him. Women feel it before they see him. A shift in the room, a drop in temperature, the way conversations quiet when he enters without trying. He does not raise his voice. He does not need to. His presence has weight now, the kind that makes others speak softer, stand straighter, search for words they usually never question. Even men who hate him lower their eyes for half a second. That half second is the tribute power collects without asking. She returns. Not always the same woman, but always the same hunger. She returns, not because he called, not because he forgave, not because he explained. She returns because something in his silence rewrote the poles of her desire. She stands before him and feels smaller, not in worth, but in gravity. She feels the pull of a center that is no longer negotiating for space in her world because he has become the center of his own. He does not punish her for leaving. He does not reward her for returning. He simply observes, the way a mountain observes the weather. And in that observation, she finally understands. This one cannot be moved by tears, promises, threats, or seduction. He can only be chosen by someone who has learned to stand in the fire without demanding he lower the flame. Machiavelli would have closed his book here and smiled. He spent his life teaching princes how to be feared without being hated. This man has become feared without trying, loved without begging, remembered without speaking. His power has grown so quiet, it has become wisdom. He no longer needs to radiate danger. The danger radiates him. Old temptations arrive dressed in new skin. A glance across the room. A message at 2 a.m. A voice that once broke him, now whispering his name like a prayer. He feels the old fire flare, recognizes it, honors it, and lets it pass through him without touching the throne. He has learned the final secret. The strongest man is not the one who never feels, but the one who feels everything and still chooses what to reveal. Women who once underestimated him now speak his name with careful reverence. They do not understand what changed, only that something did. They tell stories about the night they looked into his eyes and saw their own reflection disappear. They warn others, do not play with him unless you are ready to lose the version of yourself that needed to win. And yet, he is not cruel. He is not distant for effect. He simply exists in a stillness so complete that only equals can stand beside it without burning. Love, when it comes, is no longer a transaction of need. It is recognition between two sovereigns who choose union without surrendering the crown. This is the invisible kingdom Machiavelli dreamed of but never lived to see. A kingdom with no borders, no army, no flag. Only a man who conquered himself so thoroughly that the world lines up to pay tribute in glances, in silence, in the small, involuntary gestures of respect no one can fake. You feel it now. The final click inside your chest where the boy died and the sovereign took his place. The knowledge that from this moment forward, no woman will ever again smell weakness on you. Only the clean, lethal scent of a man who has nothing left to prove and everything left to give, on his own terms. Stay in that feeling. Because what remains is only the echo of a truth the world will spend the rest of your life confirming. This is the final truth Machiavelli carried to his grave. The man who radiates pure danger needs no throne, no army, no words of proof. He simply exists, and existence bends. Women do not choose him because he is kind, rich, or beautiful. They choose him because something in his silence smells like the beginning and the end of the world at the same time.
They choose him because 3 seconds in his presence is enough to remind them what it feels like to stand before real power and realize they are no longer in control of their own pulse. You will never again walk into a room the same way. You will never again send a message with your heart in your throat. You will never again explain, justify, or beg for what was always meant to come to you. Because the moment you sealed the fire beneath stone, the hunt reversed. They now search for traces of you in every silence, in every shadow, in every man who almost carries your calm, but never quite does. This is not cruelty. This is nature restored. This is the invisible crown you will wear for the rest of your life, forged in the solitude you once feared and now command. If every word you just heard carved some, eating permanent into your chest, if you feel the old version of you burning away right now, and something colder, stronger, and infinitely more dangerous rising in its place, comment the city you're watching from. Because the knowledge has already begun its work, and from this moment forward, every woman who crosses your path will smell it on you in less than 3 seconds. Welcome to the rest of your life.